Before I moved out of my hometown, I was working as a waiter at Waffle House. I chose to work the third shift because it had the best hourly pay and brought in pretty good tips, due to us being the only 24/7 diner in the entire town. It took me about a year to save up enough money though to rent a place in the city and get out of the middle of nowhere. But in that time, I saw quite a few things that still stick with me to this day. By and large, most of the customers I had were truckers and other random people traveling on the interstate through the middle of the night. The town was just a stopover point, not a destination as much. The quote-unquote locals consisted of farmers and ranchers from the surrounding area, and anyone else like me worked in the fast food and hotel chains clustered around the interstate exit. The final and yet the most characteristic residents of that depressing cesspit of a town were the vagrants, hitchhikers, tweakers, and destitute opportunists that had been stranded with us. They could be stuck there from anywhere to a few days to several years, clinging to the parking lots and awnings that were the only meager shelter for dozens of miles in any direction, panhandling for whatever they could, until they got lucky enough to get a ride to somewhere else. Really, the only stressful part of my job was dealing with these people. In the beginning, I tried to be empathetic. After all, they are human. However, it didn't take long to end up like my usual coworker, the cook that had been there for 15 years and had seen just about everything. His name was Carl, and the only thing separating him from them was a steady position at the grill. Nobody ever got a chair thrown at them as far as I know, but Carl was prone to throwing turners and other utensils at anyone who got on his bad side. I usually followed his lead based on his body language. He knew who was trouble and who wasn't. However, even with Carl as a reliable backup, things sometimes got out of hand there. There was this one night that I'll never forget. I don't remember what day of the week it was, but all I know was that it had been unusually slow that night. It was around 4 o'clock in the morning when this guy walked in, and even I knew something was not right about him. He was wearing soiled clothes and a completely torn up jacket, covered head to toe in dust, and he was in a completely panicked state of mind. The weird thing was that he said nothing as he ran past us, clutching his right arm to his chest and immediately locking himself in the bathroom. Carl and I rolled our eyes at the same time. Here we go again, we thought. Although I think we both had a feeling this wasn't a regular hobo bathroom emergency or a tweaker looking for a private place to do their thing. That's when I asked Carl, "Doesn't he kind of look familiar?" He brushed it off at first, but then after a short conversation, we realized that he had been inside about 2 hours ago, desperately asking all the customers for rides, until eventually we had to kick him out for being a disturbance. It seemed he obviously hadn't had any luck on getting a ride, but something else had happened to him too. I became worried. If that guy needed help, it would be a while before an ambulance could get to him, and even longer for them to take him to a hospital. Carl told me to take care of it, so I ran the check for the only customer we had in the store at the time and got them on their way. When I took the bathroom keys and went to check on our stranger in distress, I knocked on the door pretty loud and asked if everything was okay. There was a pause. Then finally, a distraught voice answered me. "I think I'm really hurt. I just need a ride." Suddenly, I knew something was seriously wrong. The sound of his voice made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. I fumbled with the key ring as I told him I was about to open the door. "Sir, if you need help, I have to come in there," I shouted. "No," the stranger screamed. "You have to come get me." I stopped for a second, confused, but then I snapped out of it and shoved the key in the lock and turned it, then opened the door to a terrifying sight. The bathroom was empty. Completely empty. No injured man, no blood, no dust, just nothing. It was as clean as it had been since I last cleaned it, as if nobody had been in there at all. In fact, it even looked cleaner than that.